Well, hi, it's Grandpa Ricky. I was over at the Kaiser Permanente medical facility today, and they're really looking after me in a wonderful way. And met a woman, and we started talking about people who are driving cars who shouldn't, or who aren't paying enough attention. And I told her about a car accident that I was in. Uh, 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a terrible car accident, and the woman that I accidentally hit died, and it was awful. I was in shock, and I had to go into therapy. I went to EMDR therapy, and it saved my life, and it was really hard. Not being able to drive, I was unable to drive. I was in so much trauma. I'd get in the car and I would start shaking. And I'm making this video today to ask people who are starting to make mistakes while they're driving to please stop driving and work out some alternatives, or to check yourself out every day and say, oh, today's not a good day for me to drive. My shoulder hurts. I can't look around behind me. I'm kind of fuzzy. And also look at the medications that so many of us are taking. And some of the medications, they say, hey, if you take this medication, don't drive. So what do you do when you don't drive? Well, it's really tough. It's really, really tough because, driving is autonomy. It means you can go where you want, and I live sort of out in the country, so I have to get into town to get food and things like that, get my hair cut, and go to doctor's appointments, and go to the library, whatever. So I discovered something, and I want to pass this on to you. And I called it the Interdependence Club. And so some people would say, hey, how can I help you? Or I would have a friend that I really like to hang out with, but we didn't get enough time, didn't get enough time to, enjoy each other. So I got this list of names. I put it on had somebody help me put it on my computer. And every time I had to go somewhere, I had to go shopping, or I wanted to go to the ocean and look at the beach, or walk on the beach, I would just put out a little notice, and I'd say, hey, does anybody want to take me to the doctor on next Tuesday, or do you want to go? Anybody want to go to a movie or something like that? And then people would see it eventually, and they would most of the time somebody would type back saying, hey, I've got the day off, or I want to do that. And so they would come and they would pick me up, and we would go out and we would have fun. And I was having more fun not driving than I did when I was driving. And I don't know about you, but I get lonely sometimes. And this was just a great opportunity. And people heard how much fun it was, and people that I barely knew were phoning up saying, hey, do you want to go I want to be on your list because I'd like to spend some time with you. And that means that, we've got to make ourselves attractive. We've got to be curious. We've got to ask them questions. How you doing? And, what's your life like? What do you think about this or that? You got to have curiosity. You have to have a sense of humor and get them learn how to help people laugh and relax and stuff like that. And sometimes people would get in the car and they would just be telling me all their problems, and that was fine. Other people's problems don't bother me. I give the problems to the trees, and sometimes I can say, hey, maybe I can help you with this, or maybe I can introduce you to my friend who, but it builds community. So use not driving to build community. If you can't do something, then hey, we all need help. So get some help. And don't be ashamed of needing help. So many people are afraid of letting anybody know they're suffering. Well, We haven't got time for that. And you'll have a better time at it too. So, and I don't ever want you or anybody else to go through what I went through when this wonderful person died. It still is like, ugh. And it's a big piece of work. So please check yourself out. Are you really ready to drive today? And if something happens, you go over a speed bump too fast, or you come close to something, you knock over somebody's garbage can. Those are the signs. Not today. Maybe not ever again. And the funny thing is, you'll have more fun. Okay, so thank you for listening, and I hope that you talk about things and share how your life is easier. Like, what have you found that helps? And I found this really helped about not driving. And I was lucky because, I was able to start driving again. And there are some days, and I do just what I'm asking you to do. There are some days when I say, no, today's not a driving day. I have a condition in my heart. And sometimes it's not a good day. My reflexes aren't as fast. So I'm doing everybody a favor and myself by getting off the road. And I'm certainly doing a favor to other people who might suffer or have me bump into their car or something like that. So we got to work together. Okay, thank you very much.